All right. So welcome everybody. It's another fantastic market review session, and it's been an incredible honor, hosting you guys so far. All right. It's a beautiful moment. I'm really grateful to everyone who has been a part of the journey. All right. And tonight, as usual, we're going to be looking at what the markets have in store for us for this week. All right. But right before I do that, it's important that we all understand, or that we all note, all right, that the markets are currently very tricky. All right. Or this week is going to be a week full of so many crazy surprises. All right. It's going to be a week of so many crazy surprises. And the reason is because this week we're going to be experiencing so much volatility in the markets. All right. So much volatility in the markets. As you can see on Monday, we have high impact news. On Monday, we have high impact news for euro. All right. We have high impact news for pound. We have high impact news for the dollar. All right. Tuesday, we have another high impact news for the dollar. Wednesday, we have high impact news for the odd, for the Chinese yuan. All right. Also for CAD. All right. And Thursday, we have high impact news for euro and the dollar. We have for euro again towards the afternoon. We have high impact news on Friday as well. JPY and USD. Also, we can see CAD. All right. So this week is going to be a week of so much volatility. And it's important that in such days, all right, or in such moments, it's important that you understand that as volatile as the markets might be, all right, it is not reason enough to get discouraged or to avoid trading. All right, because volatility is good. All right, volatility is good. However, you only be able to benefit from volatilities in the markets when you are able to position yourself rightly for those moves, all right, or for what that volatility is going to bring in. So as usual, let's get back into the charts. I think last week we had some interesting setups. Many of them didn't actually get to our specific entries, but played out nonetheless. I had a couple of streams during the week. I think I had 2 streams for FBS or with FBS during the week. I'm not sure if some of us were able to catch up with all of those recordings, all right, but nonetheless, we're going to get right into what we have for the week. So as usual, we're starting with the indices, all right. So we'll start with AXY, as usual, which is the Australian dollar index. Let's go to the weekly time frame. And as you can see on the weekly time frame, I talked about the fact that we're going to see some reaction from here, all right. It's an imbalance right on top of the 76.4 Fibonacci level. All right. However, in my opinion, I think that the Australian dollar might still drop a bit lower, all right, into this other block over here. All right, which means that we can expect price to do, it's gone up right now, all right, so we can expect price to drop a bit lower, all right, maybe create something like this. Okay, so that's my expectation from the Australian dollar. All right, what that means is that, let's go to the daily time frame so you see that clearly. On the daily time frame, we've seen a bit of a tiny break of structure, all right, and a retest of this gap here. So what I mean is, we are most likely going to see price try to recover this a little bit, all right, before we continue higher. All right, right before we continue higher. Are you guys with me? All right, so let's go on. This AXY, so we could see this retracement, all right, and then a bounce higher, all right. Then the next thing that we're going to see is whether or not this zone, all right, this other block area, whether or not it holds. All right, the next thing is BXY, all right, let's look into BXY. All right, BXY, as you can see, it has played out perfectly according to the analysis that I gave last week, Sunday. All right, we talked about the fact that it was going to come into this other block and start to drop. All right, that drop has not really manifested so much, but I still believe that we could, or we should see the drop a bit lower, all right, before the spring higher, all right. But altogether, I think the overall direction for the pound right about now should be higher, all right. But we're going to confirm all of this on the charts, all right? Remember, there's going to be a lot of volatility, so there's room for markets to make a lot of crazy moves, a lot of unprecedented moves per se, all right? I think that sounds a lot better than crazy. All right, so that's another thing to look out for. CXY, let's look at that quickly. Remember, there's a lot of news incoming for CAD. All right, and you want to be ready for all of this too. As you can see, CAD is also reacting according to the analysis I gave last week Sunday. All right, we have that area of imbalance on top of the 76.4. All right, and currently I feel that CAD is going to take out this complete move. All right, personally, I think that's my own bias that CAD will take out this complete move, which means that we're expecting some degree of bullishness from the Canadian dollar. All right, up next, we go to the dollar. All right, the US dollar. All right, and according to what I showed us last week, the US dollar, you can see it's currently trading in this region. And I told us that the US dollar was going to come higher, all right, a bit above this other block and then drop, which is what you saw right over here, all right. It came higher than this other block, all right, came into this area of imbalance, okay, and currently we're seeing this massive drop. And as you can see, I've also mapped out what the reaction would look like, all right. It comes lower into this other block zone, all right, takes a move higher, all right, something like this, makes a move higher and then drops even farther down, all right. So that is the expectation from DXY, all right, the US dollar. So we're expecting the dollar to get maybe a bit weaker, all right, to react from either this other block here, all right, or this other block here, all right, either of these two other blocks, all right. So we'll see that reaction from either of these two other blocks, a reaction to the top, all right, and then a continuation in the weakness of the DXY, all right. But altogether, I think my bias on DXY is still bearish. All right, I still have a strong bearish bias on DXY. All right, next we're going to look at EXY, which is the Euro index. All right, and as you can see, according to my prediction, this is currently playing out. I talked about the fact that we'll see a drop from here. All right, the drop has played out, the first line of the drop, and the retracement has played out already. So what we are left with right now is the third part of this drop, all right, before we get the spike up. So for this week, I think the bias is still bearish on EXY. We're going to confirm this as well on the main chart. All right, we're going to confirm this and see how this plays out on the main chart. The next thing we're going to look at, this is EXY. So we want to go back to JPY basket. All right, and just see what that has in store for us. JPY basket has been fantastic. All right, really, really fantastic. Last week, I talked about the fact that JPY basket was going to spike higher into this zone, all right, then drop a whole lot lower and probably give us a little bit of a reaction from this other block. We saw the reaction. It was tinier than I expected, all right, it was a bit smaller than I expected, but nonetheless, we are seeing that play out currently, all right. Let me go to the daily time frame so I can confirm something quickly. All right, I think from the daily time frame, I can still see the possibilities of JPY basket returning lower. All right, currently we are at this other block area. All right, and that's where price is reacting from at the moment. All right, however, I think that there's also this zone over here, this other block here, all right, as a demand zone. So we could see price do something like this, all right, before we drop even lower. All right, so, sorry, let me correct that. All right, come on. All right, so we could see price play out in this direction, all right, or in this line. All right, so these are some of the things that we're looking out for. So JPY, we're expecting some temporary strength, all right, in order to continue the downtrend as expected. All right, so having looked at all of these indices, the next thing we want to look at is looking at the currency pairs, all right, and see how all of this plays into our analysis, all right, or how it plays into our prediction, okay, how it plays into our prediction. So the first thing we want to look at over here is EURUSD. All right, so as usual, you guys know what to do, all right. If you have a commodity you would like us to take a look at, just simply go ahead and drop it in the chat box. We're going to take a review of that. Look out for what to expect from this week, and then we'll break things down a bit lower. All right, we'll break things down a lot more. Okay. Oh, sorry. That was my analysis on Euro USD earlier this week. It was a trade that I took, but it didn't really tap me into the take profit as I expected or as I anticipated, but that was all fine. All right. Because currently what we're seeing on Euro USD, all right, remember we already talked about the fact that the euro was most likely going to be weaker. All right, so here we've seen a break of structure. We've seen all of this, all right, and currently you can see that there is this other block right over here, all right, that is inside of the other block on the 4 hours time frame, all right, that is inside of the other block on the 4 hours time frame. So what does this mean? What this means is that based on the fact that we've also seen equal lows over here, all right, we've seen equal lows liquidity over here. We've also seen equal lows liquidity over here. All right, so that means that the chances of Euro USD playing back into this zone, all right, is very high. All right, I remember last week I told us that Euro USD will most likely, get into this other block, all right, then bounce higher, all right, then bounce lower. As you can see, this was last week. This was upper week. Yeah, this was 2 weeks ago. This was last week. And you can see it came right into the other block as expected. All right, so right now, I think that we can expect Euro USD to drop all the way down. All right, so whether it happens here, all right, or whether it happens from this particular other block, this line that I drew, all right, either of those two zones would get us the movement that we expect to see. All right, so that's Euro USD. Up next, we'll look into GBPUSD. That GBPUSD. And as you can see, GBPUSD is almost the same thing, all right? We've seen this move to the POI. We've seen this drop, all right, into this other block, all right, and then the spike higher, all right? And this was an analysis from as far back as 2 weeks ago, all right? And you can see how amazingly well price has played according to it. And the reason why we're looking at this once again is because currently, if you see what GBP looks like at the moment, all right, it's safe to expect some movement into maybe somewhere around here, or maybe even here, all right, into this area, all right, after we have taken out liquidity from this high, all right, which is very possible, all right. However, I think that price would give us a reaction at this particular spot. All right, so that would be my major POI right about now. All right, such that we could see price tap into this and then drop lower. All right, based on the fact that you've already seen this break of structure to the downside. All right, and this could end up playing out as equal lows liquidity in order to carry us all the way down to maybe somewhere around here. All right, and since this is a week of so many fundamental releases, it means that there's going to be enough volatility to carry prices that far. All right, so if this move plays out as expected, we can relax and anticipate about yes, we can expect about 375 pips, all right, in movement from the GBP USD. All right, so that's that about that. Up next, let's look at gold. All right, so last week Friday, gold did some amazing things. All right, I think this was a move on gold, 1:11 that I caught. Price came into the other block as I was expecting. I remember last week Sunday we talked about the fact that gold was going to come into this area, all right, and then spike, all right, spike higher, which is what you see that played out right here, all right. And currently gold has gotten to that target, all right. However, for gold, I think that what I'm expecting for gold currently is that price does this, then this, and then this. All right, that would be my expectation for gold, because at this point, I think we have seen already this break of structure. All right, we've seen equal highs liquidity taken out. All right, so price gets here, reacts. All right, and then that leaves us with this area of imbalance over here. All right, so that price can come into this other block and continue going higher. All right, based on all that we have seen from the higher time frame. So for me, I think gold is going to take this three-step approach, all right, buy to sell to buy, all right. So it's going to buy, then sell, then buy. Feel free, don't believe my word. Let's just see how the week plays out, all right. But one thing that I can assure you of is that price is definitely going to come into this zone, all right. Price is definitely going to come into this zone this week, all right. And remember, there's a lot of volatility ahead in the markets. So all of these movements can actually happen in one single day. All right, all of these movements can actually happen in a single day based on the fact that there's a lot of volatility that will be coming in as a result of the news and all the fundamental releases that we're going to get to see during the week. All right, so that's for gold. Next one we're going to look at is AUDJPY. AUDJPY, and that's based on Noel's request. Okay, good. This is AUDJPY, and yeah, this is AUDJPY, and as you can see, price is reacting currently from this other block area. All right, it's going higher, or it seems to be going higher. However, the interesting thing about this. Somebody's mic is unmuted. Okay, good. All right. However, the interesting thing about this movement is that right about now we have seen that price has recovered this imbalance. All right, which leaves us with this zone around here. All right, this entire zone. So let's go to the 4 hours time frame and see how we can break down that zone. All right, 4 hours time frame still looks a bit big. All right, and as you can see, according to the 4 hours time frame, price has already tapped into this other block. All right, so let's go to the 2 hours time frame and see if we can get something more interesting from here. Okay. All right, beautiful. Just what I was looking for. Okay, so what this means is that if we're able to get a liquidity grab, equal highs liquidity from somewhere around here, I think we already see equal highs at this point already. So if we get to see something like this, right, sell to buy, to sell a little bit, then into the other block, and then to sell. All right, so I think that's what we can expect from AUDJPY for the week. All right, because this is an equal low liquidity that needs to be taken out. This is an area of imbalance that is yet to be completely filled up. All right, so that means that we could see reactions come all the way into maybe as deep as this. All right, so we could see reactions come that low. All right, so let's just see how this plays out. All right, but I think that what I want to bank on is the fact that we've had a double break of structure at this point. All right, we've had a double break of structure. We've seen liquidity grab. We've seen imbalance over here. All right, so that means that price has a lot of reasons to want to come all the way down here. All right, and if this move plays out according to analysis, all right, it means that we can literally expect, yes, that's another 375 pips move from AUDJPY. The next one, GBPJPY, let's look at that quickly. All right, so this is GBPJPY. We had quite some interesting moves, GBPJPY, the last week or the previous week. All right, as you can see, though, we've created equal lows over here. All right, let me go to the daily. Yes. All right, looking at this on the daily time frame, let me quickly show you the zone I marked. All right, so I basically marked this pivot zone, all right, on the daily time frame, because I believe that price was going to make a reaction around that area. All right, however, this is also an interesting zone that we want to look out for. All right, so I think price is still inside the other block, on the daily. All right, which means that we could literally get to see. We could literally get to see the drop from this other block zone. All right, inside this other block. I haven't taken out equal-eyes liquidity over here. All right, as you can see, equal-eyes liquidity. So let's go to the lower time frames quickly. All right, so on the lower time frames, we've seen a break of structure. All right, I think we can also see that this happens to be another block. All right, that's another block. Possible reasons or possible grounds for price coming back here. I think this is a bit of an imbalance that could get to be filled. All right, that we could see getting filled during the week. I think we can also anticipate this playing out as possible equal-eyes zone. All right, such that GBPJPY could play out maybe this way. All right, could play out most likely in this manner. All right, either like that or we get a reaction even before that other block, peradventure from here. All right, and then maybe here would be a reasonable target. All right, our first major target. So if this plays out according to the initial setup, all right, or according to our initial expectation, I think we can literally expect about about 540 pips from that move. All right, GJ. So what we're looking at is GJ coming to recover this area of imbalance. All right, tap into the other block and then drop a whole lot lower. All right, drop it a whole lot lower. All right, it could be lower than this even. All right, but I think that for now we can target that as the primary area of interest. All right, because there's also this whole lot of imbalance over here. All right, inefficiency over here. All right, so having seen that, I think the next one is CAD JPY. All right, CAD JPY. If you also have commodities that you'd like us to take a look at, just kindly drop them in the chat box in the group. All right, and we would address those requests. All right, so as you can see, this is also an area of inefficiency, which leaves us with the possibilities of this as an order block. All right, based on the fact that we've seen break of structure, break of structure, break of structure. All right, we've seen equal lows. All right, and the possibility of equal lows liquidity grab, and then we've also seen this area of inefficiency. All right, we can see that also. All right, so I think that practically we can expect price to react in this manner. All right, come back up here. All right, and then drop this way. All right, so that would be my setup for AUD for CAD JPY. All right, it's a major buy to sell. All right, if it plays out completely, then we should have 325 pips on the down on the sell. All right, and then 148 or 150 pips for the buy. All right, so that's CAD JPY. Up next, we're looking at BTCUSD and US30. All right, so let's do that. BTCUSD. All right, many of you may not remember this setup, but I think I recall telling you guys to expect or to anticipate a buy on BTCUSD. All right, this was the setup from 2 weeks ago. All right, it was going to buy, then drop into this this demand zone area. All right, and then resume bullish. And then last week I showed us that I expected BTC to, as you can see, that was Monday, 17th of October. I told us I expect BTC to drop into this other block then start buying, which it actually has done so far, right? It has dropped into the other block. It's currently buying. However, I think in order for me to rest assured that this is the move that market really wants to make, all right, I think I want to see something really, really clear, all right, a really clear break of structure, maybe even above this high. All right, even though we've had micro break of structures, all right, we've seen this, all right, we've also seen this as a break of structure. All right, but I think that the major structure I want to see broken is this. All right, then we can come back into this zone and then start to target some higher levels. All right. So I think that as far as I'm concerned, this is one area to watch out for. All right, this could play out to be another. All right. However, I think that we can expect price to buy. All right, BTCUSD to buy, then drop a little bit before going higher. If you go to the daily time frame, you see that that is still in line with my initial analysis from as far back as 2 weeks ago. All right, so we are still anticipating a break of structure. All right, break above this previous high. All right, then maybe a tiny retracement, and then price can shoot all the way to this point as expected. All right, so that's BTCUSD for you. The next one is US30. All right. All right, so this is US30, and I think I recall sharing with us last week that US30 was going to sell a little bit into some of these levels. All right, then buy. All right, unfortunately, I was unable to seize this opportunity from this chart. But those who attended my my live stream with FBS, all right, those who attended the live stream, the Telegram live stream on Friday, will recall that we talked about this move playing out exactly the way it did. All right, exactly the way it did. But I think this chart is currently clumsy, so let's clear the chart and then work with what we have at the moment. The question a lot of people want to ask me is US30 bullish right now? All right, which would be an interesting question. All right, but let me quickly mark out what I'm saying on US30 over here. All right, this is the 4 hours time frame, so please just give me a couple of minutes to quickly mark out all of this. All right, I think what we can see or what we can expect from US30, based on what I'm seeing here, we've seen break of structure to the downside. All right, price has tested this other block. All right, tested this other block. We've gotten reactions from there already. All right, we've gotten reactions from there already. Price could be targeting this particular other block. All right, could be targeting this other block in order to come lower, all right, into this zone. All right, and the reason why is because if you look closely here, you see that this gives us the opportunity for equal lows liquidity grab. All right, this could possibly be an area of imbalance. All right, I don't want to conclude yet till I see what the price action looks like when market opens. All right, but I think that we can also anticipate something happening around here. This is not an area of imbalance anymore because it has already been tested. All right, it has already been tapped into. However, it leaves us room for equal lows liquidity grab as well. All right, such that we may end up seeing price do this. All right, do something like this before we shoot higher. All right, and remember, this week is actually a week of so much volatility. There is virtually high impact news from Monday through to Friday. All right, so this means that as much as there will be good opportunities, all right, there will also be so many fake movements. All right, so many fake movements. All right, so you want to be careful, keep your risk management in check. All right, and also ensure that for whatever analysis you are having, all right, do not be stubborn about your analysis. Don't be like, oh, it just has to go in my direction. If you notice that your bias has been completely broken, all right, or that your bias has been invalidated, all right, don't stubbornly stick with a broken analysis. All right, look for new entries and flow with whatever the market is trying to do at that particular point in time. All right, at that particular point in time. So that's US 30. I think the next one is Euro AUD. All right, Euro AUD. So let's look at that quickly. All right, yeah, this is Euro AUD. I think I gave this setup. I can't really recall if I did. Forex Empire, we already talked about GBPUSD. The majors are usually the first commodities that we look at. All right, so since you missed that, you may want to catch up on the rest, the recording, all right, on the YouTube channel. So this is Euro AUD, quite interesting. Equal lows over here. Liquidity is definitely going to get grabbed. All right, we're most definitely going to get into this other block. All right, we'll get into that other block. Get a bit of a reaction. All right, from this other block, get a bit of a reaction into maybe this area. All right, and then price can drop. Maybe this much. All right, maybe this much. The reason why I'm anticipating that is because this movement has left us with this imbalance over here. All right, has left us with that inefficiency over there. All right, opening up this as a high probability supply zone or order block zone. Okay, so we could see price testing to this based on the fact that you can all see that we've had break of structure, bearish break of structure here. So that tells us that price is most likely targeting a bearish move, all right, or bearish trend. And our analysis on euro also tells us that the euro is supposed to get weaker. All right, so the worst case scenario, however, is that price comes back into this major order block, all right, and then drops. All right, so nonetheless, Euro AUD, our bias is still bearish. All right, our bias for Euro AUD is still very bearish. All right, these are the commodities we'll be looking at for this week. All right, based on your request. Apparently, there were not many requests this week. All right, so we're just going to work with the requests that I've gotten so far. All right, however, I want to quickly say a couple of things. All right, this week, I talked about the fact that we've had some interesting developments. All right, some amazing things are coming on board. All right, and we're changing some of our approaches to certain things. All right, so one of the things that we're going to be doing, at least for those who are in the VIP groups, all right, you can basically expect that for at least 3 or 4 out of this fundamental news, all right, if I am not going to be having a stream with FBS, all right, I will definitely be live streaming my trades with you guys, all right. I'm literally going to be showing you guys live my trades or my bias regarding each of those news releases, all right, so that you guys can trade along with me, all right. But that's basically going to be for those who are currently in the VIP group, all right, currently in the VIP group. So my latest batch of mentorship students also, I'll be transitioning you guys, or at least sending you the links to that fundamental release, all right, or to that live stream so that you guys can also join as well. All right, so we're going to be doing a couple of things. The first is that we're going to be looking at all of the fundamental releases, and then we're going to be trying to trade along the line of those fundamental releases, all right, to just bag some few pips, all right, during the course of the week. All right, and another development is that for those of you who have been reaching out for mentorship, you need something that is maybe a little bit more affordable, all right. Next month, some of my guys are going to be putting together a training, all right, for you guys, all right. It's going to be a little bit cheaper because, you know, they are my people, all right? So I've spoken with them. They will be handling some of the training sessions. I'm getting a lot busier these days, so you're going to see a little less of me, all right, or a little less activity from me during the week. But nonetheless, you're in good hands. My team is way more than capable to handle all of your inquiries and to deliver on, you know, our promise of helping you make profits in the financial markets. All right. So I want to say a big thank you to you guys. Thank you so much for joining this stream. All right. For those of you that missed the stream, that missed the setup and the analysis, all right, please do well to come across the YouTube channel. Go to the YouTube channel, go through the videos in the YouTube channel, all right. And I can assure you that this week is going to be an absolutely profitable week for every one of us, all right. So thank you very much, guys. See you during the week and have a fantastic trading week. God bless you and bye-bye.